kept searching for.
Crisp air, golden leaves, pumpkin spice everything. There's just something magical about fall. And what better way to soak in all that seasonal splendor than by hitting the road and exploring some of the USA's most charming small towns? Today, we're counting down 7 quaint destinations that are absolutely perfect for a fall road trip. So buckle up, because you're in for a scenic ride filled with colorful foliage, cozy cafes, and a whole lot of charm. Our first stop is none other than Woodstock, Vermont, a quintessential New England town that looks like it was plucked straight from a postcard. Picture this: historic covered bridges, tree-lined streets bursting with reds, oranges, and yellows, and colonial-era architecture that takes you back in time. Now, if you're looking for that classic fall experience, you can't miss the vibrant foliage around the Woodstock Village Green. It's the kind of place that practically demands a cozy sweater, a warm drink, and a leisurely stroll. Stop by one of the local cafes to grab a hot apple cider or pumpkin latte. Trust me, it's not a real fall road trip without one. And for those of you who like a bit of history mixed into your travels, make your way to Billings Farm and Museum. It's like stepping back into the 19th century, with farmhouses, working barns, and, get this, live demonstrations of traditional farming techniques. You'll even find some adorable cows and sheep. Who doesn't love a good cow selfie? Before you leave Woodstock, do yourself a favor and swing by Sugarbush Farm. This place is a cheese and maple syrup lover's paradise. You can sample their homemade cheeses and pure maple products. Next, we're crossing the country to a place that feels a bit like hopping over to Europe, Leavenworth, Washington. Nestled in the Cascade Mountains, Leavenworth is a Bavarian-style village where Oktoberfest never really ends. The Alpine-style architecture and mountain backdrop create a picture-perfect setting, especially as the leaves turn to shades of gold and crimson. Visiting in the fall? Well, you're in luck. It's festival season in Leavenworth, which means you can catch one of their Oktoberfest celebrations, complete with authentic German food, live music, and of course, plenty of beer. Even if you're not a beer enthusiast, the atmosphere alone will get you in the festive spirit. If you're more of the outdoorsy type, you'll be spoiled for choice with scenic hiking trails nearby. The Enchantment Lakes Trail is a stunner, but if you're looking for something a bit less strenuous, take a stroll through Waterfront Park. It's a lovely spot to soak in the views of the Wenatchee River, surrounded by brilliant fall foliage. And when you've worked up an appetite, head over to one of the town's many bakeries for a pretzel or some traditional German pastries. Because what's a Bavarian experience without a freshly baked pretzel? Now, let's head to the Pocono Mountains, where Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania awaits. Dubbed the Switzerland of America, this town is known for its Victorian architecture and stunning mountain scenery that feels almost otherworldly when the leaves start to change. The historic downtown area is like stepping back in time. Picture charming brick buildings, antique shops, and cozy cafes that invite you to stay a while. If you're a history buff, you'll love exploring the Asapaka Mansion Museum, a 19th century home filled with period furnishings and fascinating stories from the past. For a more adrenaline-pumping experience, hop on the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. This train ride takes you on a breathtaking journey through the heart of fall foliage country. The panoramic views from the open-air cars will leave you reaching for your camera. Just try not to drop it when the scenery takes your breath away. And if hiking is your thing, you've got to check out the Glenonoko Falls Trail. It's a bit of a challenging trek, but the reward? A series of cascading waterfalls surrounded by fiery autumn colors. Our journey wouldn't be complete without another stop in Vermont, this time in the stunning town of Stowe. This place is an absolute must-visit for anyone who loves outdoor adventure, farm-to-table dining, or just wants to soak in some seriously beautiful views. Stowe is surrounded by the Green Mountains, and in the fall, it's like nature flips a switch and everything turns to gold. The town is famous for leaf peeping, which, if you're not familiar, is basically the art of admiring fall leaves. And trust me, once you've done it here, you'll wonder why it isn't a competitive sport. Feeling adventurous? Head to Smuggler's Notch State Park, where you can hike through narrow mountain passes or take a scenic drive that winds through steep cliffs and colorful forests. And if you want a bird's eye view, book a hot air balloon ride over the valley. Watching the sunrise as you float over a sea of autumn hues is pure magic. But hey, if all that sounds like too much work, there's always the Ben & Jerry's factory nearby. Take a tour, learn about the ice cream making process, and sample some of their exclusive flavors. Because who says you can't enjoy a scoop of Chunky Monkey while surrounded by fall colors? Our next stop takes us out west to Jackson, Wyoming, a town where the Old West meets stunning natural beauty. Jackson Hole, as it's often called, is nestled in a valley surrounded by the towering Teton Range. In the fall, the peaks are dusted with snow and the forests blaze with colours, making it an autumn dream come true. Grand Teton National Park is practically begging to be explored in the fall. The cooler temperatures make hiking more enjoyable, and the park's abundant wildlife, like moose, elk and bears, are more active. Just keep a safe distance if you do spot a bear. Trust me, you don't want to get up close and personal with one of those. For a more relaxed wildlife experience, take a drive through the National Elk Refuge. As the weather cools, thousands of elk migrate to the valley, creating a spectacle you won't soon forget. You can even take a guided tour on a horse-drawn sleigh when winter rolls in. The town of Jackson itself is worth exploring too, with its wooden sidewalks, art galleries, and rustic charm. Whether you're warming up in a cozy cafe or checking out local boutiques, there's no shortage of things to see and do. And if you're lucky, you might just catch a live performance at the Jackson Hole Playhouse. Now, let's head back east to the charming coastal town of Bar Harbor, Maine. Located on Mount Desert Island, Bar Harbor is the gateway to Acadia National Park, where fall means vibrant reds, oranges, and yellows sweeping across the rugged landscape. Take the scenic Park Loop Road for one of the best drives you'll ever experience. It winds through forests, along the coastline, and up to Cadillac Mountain. If you're up for a sunrise hike, Cadillac Mountain is one of the first places in the US to see the sunrise. Imagine those first light rays hitting the sea of colourful leaves. After exploring the park, head back to town and enjoy some of the freshest seafood you'll ever taste. A lobster roll at one of the local eateries is practically mandatory. Bar Harbor's quaint streets and seaside views make for a perfect leisurely afternoon stroll. Our final destination takes us down south to the Great Smoky Mountains, where Gatlinburg, Tennessee, serves as the perfect gateway to some of the most stunning fall foliage you'll find. The Smokies get their name from the natural fog that often appears like smoke rising from the mountains. And in the fall, this mystical scenery is accentuated by the vibrant colours of changing leaves. Take a drive along the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail, a one-way loop that's lined with old-growth forests, historic cabins, and plenty of places to pull over for some truly Instagram-worthy shots. For the best views though, hop on the Ober-Gatlinburg aerial tramway and ascend to the top of the mountain. The sweeping vistas of the Smoky Mountains dressed in fall colours are simply unforgettable. And don't forget to check out Gatlinburg's arts and crafts community. With dozens of artisans offering handmade goods, you can take a piece of the Smokies home with you. Whether it's pottery, paintings, or even some homemade fudge, it's the perfect way to remember your visit. And there you have it, 7 charming small towns in the USA that are perfect for a fall road trip. So pack your bags, grab a travel buddy, and hit the road. You never know what kind of memories you'll make along the way. Let us know in the comments which town you'd love to visit or share your favorite autumn destination. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, safe travels.